Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Vacation Voyagers. And it has been a while since I put out a video. This video is us going to the Florida Keys as well as on a quick 3-day cruise on the Celebrity Reflection. So I didn't do a whole lot of filming on this trip. I did a little bit when we were on our way to the Florida Keys. We actually drove down there. And then when we got on the cruise ship, we actually went to Key West, and I did some filming of the area on our golf cart. Other than that, I just really didn't film anything on this trip. There were some issues that we had on the Celebrity Reflection, and I will talk about them after the intro. So enjoy this weird video. Harping. Shark, nurse shark. So basically what we did is we flew into Fort Lauderdale and we got in a car the next day and we drove all the way to Florida Keys. And we made it all the way down to the 7 Mile Bridge and then turned around and came back. So this clip that you're seeing here is the 7 Mile Bridge from the end all the way to the beginning going back towards Fort Lauderdale. And it is 7 miles, so I sped up the video so it wouldn't take 8 minutes for you guys to see it. But yeah, this is the 7 Mile Bridge in a car. And what you're seeing right now that looks like another bridge is actually the old bridge that they still have up. And people do use that bridge because there are little islands that people live on, and they use that road or that old bridge to get to their homes on these little islands. And right here is what I was talking about. There is a road that goes down to this island, and then that bridge actually is cut off where nobody can get through there. It just ends where that island is, and I guess people live there. It's kind of weird to see, but yeah, pretty interesting. But yeah, this is the end of the bridge, and you're fixing to start to see land. And that whole thing that was sped up, with the exception of this last part, is the 7 Mile Bridge. And this is the end or the beginning of the 7 Mile Bridge. Depends on which way you're coming. Hey guys, it's been a while. It is Heath with the Vacation Voyagers, and I'm on a ship. We just got on the ship. I didn't film Embarkation because, boy, did we have some problems. It was not a good start, and it has not been a good start. We just got on this ship. First of all, we're on the Celebrity Reflection. This is the second time we've been on this ship, and we've got 2 groups with us. Actually, we have 1 group with us, 6 people, and did just a quick 3-day cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. There is Fort Lauderdale. There is our balcony. Nice balcony, nice long angled balcony. But yeah, we need to talk about Embarkation, because this is by far the worst embarkation that we have ever done. And I will try to do the best of explaining what happened. I'm not good with that, so y'all have to bear with me. We get here 10 o'clock. Now, we have what's called premium boarding as well as concierge. Plus, Voyager T's mom needed a wheelchair. So the way they do it here is they escort you. They have to have one of their workers, if you're using their wheelchairs service, their wheelchairs, when you embark, they make you take one of their wheelchairs and they take your family with you and guide you through embarkation, security, all that stuff. All of that was fine up until it came time to wait to get on the ship. So it's just me, Voyager T, and her mom. And then our other family, the lady with our other family, she also has an issue with her knee and has a brace on. And it was her husband, and their daughter. The people at Celebrity, at the port, they made me leave, and they made the girl from the other family leave. They said that there could only be one person with the person who is in a wheelchair. So we had to go to standard seating. We paid for premium. We got premium, concierge, all that stuff. Why do I have to go sit over there with the rest of everybody else? Well, because it's going to get crowded and we don't need more than one person with the person in a wheelchair. I've cruised 30, 40 ships. I've never heard that before in my entire life, ever. We did it anyway. We went and we sat, talked to another person. I'm like, hey, I've got premium boarding, and told them what happened. This is where it gets really pissy with me. I went back to the one lady and I'm like, look, I'm going to board with my wife and her mom. We're going to board together. She's in a wheelchair. I'm going with them. She's like, fine, go ahead. Well, me and my wife get on. I'm pushing her mom to check in and get on the ship. They said that I couldn't check her in. They said somebody from their company has to take her wherever she needed to go. So they pulled her back, made her wait, and then we had, after we checked in, had to wait on the other side. Well, they kept telling us we need to move on, get on the ship. We're like, we're not getting on the ship because the lady that's with us is in a wheelchair sitting by herself and nobody's helping her come through the picket line or whatever the hell you want to call it. Oh, well, we've got other people taking other wheelchair people onto the ship. She'll just have to wait for one of them to come back. So 20 minutes passed by. Not only did she have to wait, but there were people that came in well after her in a wheelchair, and they took them instead of her. So it took them at least 30 minutes just to be able to push her onto the ship after we had already checked out or checked on and got over to the other side of the ship where you start making that long walk up the ramp to get on the ship. Wasn't crowded at all. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. Once they started boarding, they didn't ask for premium. They didn't ask for anybody. They just started pulling people out of wheelchairs and letting them go, the people who had their own wheelchairs. And then, like I said, the woman who was telling us that we couldn't be there and only one person with her, she passed my mother-in-law up and took two other people that were there well after she had been there, because we were some of the first people to get there. So she told them to get these two other people and made her wait. Yeah, it was absolutely the worst embarkation ever. And I'm terrible at explaining things, but that's the gist of it. Rude as hell. Wouldn't let us group together. Wouldn't even let us stand together. And I mean, there was nobody there. Then when we get on the ship, the guy who brought her up to our room, very nice. It wasn't his fault. All he's doing is taking people in wheelchairs back and forth on and off the ship. Once we get to our room, the wheelchair that they give us for her for the duration of the trip was there waiting for us. That's the one that we can push. So then once we get on the ship, we had a concierge luncheon, and I didn't go to it because the menu wasn't that great, wasn't very many options. And my wife went to it, and she texted me a few minutes ago while I was at the buffet eating. She said the food was awful. I don't think they even ate there. And before we even ate, I went to a bar. And you know how bars are on cruise ships. They get really crowded and stuff, but This bar, there was 3 or 4 people on one side, 4 or 5 people on the other side. Me and my aunt were sitting there waiting to get a drink. The bartender would keep taking the people who had just walked up. And me and my aunt and another person who was beside us, after us, would never get served. They kept going to these people who would just walk up and ask for drinks. It pissed me off. And I finally said, if you can't take our order, if you're just going to keep taking all these people who are walking up and you know damn good and well we've been sitting here for 30 minutes trying to get a drink, then I'm not going to drink on this ship. So I went back to my seat, and this was after the embarkation and all that crap went down, and the first thing we do is try to get a drink, and then that happens. We are off to a start. The Celebrity Cruise, who's supposed to be the upper end of Royal Caribbean, isn't even close. I would much rather be on a Royal Caribbean ship right now. So far, we're off to a rough start, and we've only been on this ship, let's see, we got on at 11:30, it's 12:45. So an hour and 15 minutes, we've had all that happen. I haven't done a cruise vlog since January, so we'll see how it goes. So as usual, I always come down to the casino to check it out. And they do have some newer games, and I will show them to you. They're obviously not open, which is why I'm filming now. It's not a very big casino at all. It's very small. But they got some new Huff and Puff games, and I will show them to you here in a second. Oh, there's one right there. Huff and Even More Puff. They did not have those last time we were on this ship. Pretty sure they had those. Let's go over here. There's some more Huff and Puff games that they come out with. I've never seen these. Tree of Wealth they had. Oh, they got Ritual Piggies. They were not here last time I was here. Coin Trios. Yes, they were. These are new. Buffalo Gold Wheels of Reward. Those were not here last time. These, I don't think these were here last time I was here, because I was looking for Dragon Link and couldn't find them. I don't know what these are, because they're blacked out. Huff and More Puff, those were here before. More Money was here before. Those are new.
What's your channel?
Vacation Voyagers.
Vacation Voyagers?
Yeah. Probably not. Nobody watches my channel.
Are you sure?
Not many. Nope, those are all the same, but these are new. I've never seen this one before. Huff and Even More Puff Hard Hat. So I will definitely give these a shot and see what these are all about. But yeah, I mean, their games are updated. So we'll check those out when we get down here later on tonight. But yeah, very small. There's only, what, maybe 15, 20 table games here. But yeah, these are new too. These weren't here last time I was here. Now, the one thing about this casino that is maybe good for most is this is a non-smoking casino. There is no smoking. And there is no casino other than this one. So I guess for you smokers, it's a downfall for sure, because they don't even have like a smoking section or non-smoking section. Just all non-smoking. So there's your casino. We are going to dinner, and we are eating at the Tuscan Grill. Are y'all waiting on me? Yep. Am I late? Okay, so we are at the Tuscan Grill. We just got our appetizer, and this is the pork belly. Very similar to Chops Grill's pork belly. A little thicker though. So let's see how it tastes. The pork belly. The sauce on it, very similar to Chops Grill. Here's my other appetizer salad. This is Caesar. I'm going to try this. You know, people will say Caesar salad is a Caesar salad. It really isn't. I've had bad Caesar salads, so I'm going to try this one. Not a fan of the sauce because it's fishy. It tastes fishy. Not great. Croutons are though, very soft. Look like homemade croutons. And the Parmesan thin slice. Croutons are really good. So here is the ribeye. And yeah, let's see how they did on how I wanted it cooked, and then we'll taste it. And they did my steak right. Medium well is what I asked for. Barely any pink, that's good. And now my steak looks like Pac-Man. So let's eat it and see how it tastes. How's your steak? How do you like your steak?
I'm so used to Cody's.
Be honest. How's the steak? I'm fixing to taste it.
It's not bad. It's very tender, but I don't like the sauce.
Okay. All right, let's see how this tastes.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually a little tough. Very tough. Ugh, not a fan. All right, so we just got done with the Tuscan Grill. God, it sounds like I'm just griping about everything on this trip, but that really was not a good meal. The steak was bad. The pork belly, it was okay. I did try the chicken parmesan. They did give us some samples of some other things. The chicken parmesan wasn't bad. I should have got that. They're known for their steaks, and their steaks just weren't that good. I'm really shocked. They had no potato options except for mashed potatoes. The broccolini, it was cold and not done. It was almost raw. It's supposed to have been grilled, but yeah, it just was not a good experience. Did not like that. For a pay restaurant, I was expecting a lot better than that. What can you do? So that was the end of day one. We didn't do much after we ate. I went to the casino, gambled a little bit, and went to bed because we were exhausted from Embarkation, all the issues we were having. Had a really long day when we took that drive all the way down to Florida Keys. That was the end of day one. This is day two, where we are at Key West. First time we've ever been there. So there this is. Enjoy. All right, good morning, folks. It is day two. We are in the Florida Keys for the first time ever. There is the reflection. Fixing to get on a golf cart. It's hard to fathom that we're still actually in the United States. Best time to go to that little buoy right there is first thing in the morning, because later on it got crowded. And that's it. That is the video. That is the worst video I've ever filmed on a cruise ship. But I gotta tell you, I just did not want to film anymore. We had been on that cruise, I think back in September. It's a medium-sized ship, and it was a 3-day cruise back then. And that was the first time we had ever been on it. And it was okay, but going on it a second time and having all the issues that we had on the ship, the only people that were so good to us was our room steward, the person who brought the wheelchair for my mother-in-law. They were great. Everybody else was pretty much like they didn't even want to be on the ship either. Yeah, it was just a weird experience for Royal Caribbean to have this upper class ship, the Celebrity, that's supposed to be, you can compare it to the Carnival and the Princess. You know, the Princess is an upper scale ship from the Carnival. You would think, even if the ship is an older ship, it still needs to be treated as a ship that's on a higher tier than Royal Caribbean. The reason why we took it was because it's the first time we were ever able to go to Key West. We wanted to do that, and that was the only ship that we could find that did that particular port, so that's why we took it. But yeah, very disappointing. The most disappointing was Embarkation. Did not like the way we got treated, and I've seen other videos from other people who had pretty similar experiences, not only with the port but with rooms and with that ship as well. Yeah, it's a weird video. I know it's all chopped up and stuff. Whatever I videoed, I just showed it to you, and there it is. So, sorry. The only other thing I wanted to talk about that we did not enjoy was the food on the Celebrity Reflection. Again, we were only on there 3 days. The first night we ate at that paid restaurant. It wasn't very good. Other than that, I just ate at the buffet. The buffet was okay, but it wasn't as good as Royal. When I went to the buffet, they went to the main dining room the last night, and they ended up coming to the buffet because they said the main dining room wasn't very good at all. When you don't get served drinks, when they purposely ignore you and are rude, when the food's not good, it was just like they were just going through the motions and they didn't care. Anyway, that was the trip. That was the cruise. That was our 5-day adventure. Thank you guys for watching, and I do apologize for not putting out anything in a while, but we just haven't been anywhere. Fixing to go to Greece, and that costs a lot of money, so we've been trying to save up everything and focus on that. That'll be about a month away, so we will see you then. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on our next voyage. Peace and love. Bye.